After reading Childe's leaked talents and skills, I think this guy is gonna do a ton of damage. And not only does he look cool, does he have a unique playstyle, but this dude's kit is something else. Let's get into it.
I am the least adept with the bow, and that is precisely why I must master it. Shouldn't let your guard down.
The singular most important thing about Childe and how to apply maximum damage is his broken flow mechanic. What is broken flow? It's a status ailment that Childe applies when he does a charged shot with his bow, a fully charged shot, or once you get to Ascension rank 4, which is level 60 to 70, if Childe is in melee stance and he crits with a basic or a charge attack, you apply this broken flow ailment on the enemy. Now at first I thought the broken flow ailment is consumed, but here's the thing, it stays on the enemy. So what happens with broken flow is if Childe hits them with anything when they have broken flow on them, surrounding enemies take AoE hydro damage, equivalent to Childe's basic attack damage. That's insane. It's freaking insane for a couple reasons. One of them being because he's a bow user. There are a lot of bows in this game that gives you basic attack up with a crazy high multiplier, like Rust. And let's talk about a scenario, okay? So let's say I have 3 enemies in front of me and a venti ball, whatever you want to say, like they're just clumped up in front of me. All of them have broken flow status. If I hit one, the other 2 take AoE damage based on my basic attack damage. So they're basically getting hit with a basic attack. If I hit all 3 of them at the same time, I'm applying 3 times the basic attack with 1 hit to all the enemies. So that means I can quadruple my damage, quintuple my damage. However many enemies I hit with broken flow, that's however many enemies are going to take the same basic attacks. That's huge. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this skill can also crit. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I think this is probably the best in slot for Childe right now. Skyward Harp for sure. Substat is crit rate. Pairing up with Childe's level up stat, which is also crit rate, it'll be very easy to push him to 100% crit rate, meaning 100% uptime on broken flow. This bow also gives crit damage, which, you know, if you're building crit, you're going to love crit damage, and it's one of the best stats for late game. Having another passive to generate more AoE damage is also great, and that can happen every 4 seconds with the Skyward Harp, so definitely max damage, Skyward Harp. Noblesse Oblige is definitely his best in slot for now until we get a new general hydro artifacts. Just getting more burst damage on this guy seems pretty good. Not confirmed, but I have a feeling he's going to be a 40 energy cost elemental burst, maybe 60. But definitely, I don't think it's going to be 80. If it is 80, I would definitely... that's kind of hard because I would still recommend this because of the 4-piece passive of getting all party members and attack up by 20% for 12 seconds. So, yeah, it kind of depends on his energy cost, but right now I'm going to say general set this until we get something dedicated to Hydro. And if you don't have Skyward Harp or haven't gotten lucky, don't worry. I actually think fully refined Rust is better than Skyward Harp. Now hear me out, it's crazy, okay? You don't get the crit rate, you don't get the crit damage, but if Broken Flow works like how it's described in the leaks, Broken Flow AoE damage scales off of normal attack damage. And if you get the Rust to max refine, that's 80% extra normal attack damage. That thing is going to be insane, okay? Like just, whew, that's so much damage, and Rust can provide that to you. Aim shot damage decrease doesn't even matter. Like, at 0 Constellation, I can see most Childe playing in mostly melee form once they get to Ascension rank 4 anyways. So, yeah, dude, Rust is going to be busted on him. If Broken Flow scales like the leak says it does. Unconfirmed. Now, of course, that's only if Broken Flow scales off of a basic attack damage. If it doesn't, then it's definitely not the best option. Skyward Harp will beat it in leaps and bounds. Now, I also think if you have a specific team setup that can give Childe a shield. Retracing Bullet is actually really strong on him too. It gives you an additional 40% normal and charge attack damage. Right, so now about 120% basic attack damage, normal attack damage. Sorry. Add that in with the Broken Flow, spicy. For Retracing Bullet, some teammates that you might want to consider: Diona, coming out in the same banner as Childe, gives an ice shield. Water Ice, pretty nice, applies freeze. You can add another cryo character, so 2 cryo and Childe, where every time he hits a cryo or a frozen enemy, he gets a 15% crit rate up, right? So that goes into making his Broken Flow work. And his melee attack, when his stance is in melee form, always does hydro damage, and then spreads this hydro damage anyways. So you're gonna be perma-freezing people if you do double cryo with Childe. Another shield that you might want to consider right now, Noelle gives it, any Geo character of course, and I think Jing Yang, the Fire Greatsword lady coming out in the banner after Childe, also gives one. Gives a shield to herself that you can switch off of, and of course you can pair him with Zhongli as well, because he can also self-make a shield, and he's also a Geo character. So yeah, if your team comp has a shield, a Retracing Bullet, definitely the way to go. And of course, there are 2 alternative bows that you can use if you haven't gotten lucky with your pulls or haven't been pulling at all. These ones are more guaranteed, of course. Viridescent Hunt, pretty good bow, gives you crit rate. Every 14 seconds you can pull enemies in using the Cyclone passive, which helps you AoE with your Broken Flow. Seems like a pretty good bow for Childe. Definitely more of a AoE CC type weapon. And the other bow, I think it's like a last resort kind of bow, the Black Cliff War Bow. You can get this in the Paimon bargain shop using I think Massless Stardust. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's one that you can redeem if you're going to be rolling for Childe anyways. After defeating an enemy, attack is increased by a certain percentage depending on your refinement for 30 seconds, and you can have up to max 3 stacks, and the stacks are independent of each other. The main stat that you're looking at here is crit damage, which synergizes really well with Childe's crit rate natural growth anyways. So yeah, if you haven't gotten lucky with the bows, definitely look out for these 2. They definitely pair really well. Now I'm gonna be honest, I might not even roll for Childe. I just said all these great things about him, but Zhongli's coming out in a couple weeks. He's got the color scheme, he's got that spear kick, he's got that swagger. I already made a whole team for him, already farmed his artifacts. That waifu is coming home, alright? Like, bruh, I'm hyped. But Childe, right out the gate, 0 constellation, I actually think is more powerful than Zhongli if you're looking for a main damage carry. Zhongli, reading his later constellations and stuff, definitely very powerful, will definitely overshadow Childe in terms of overall usefulness, for sure. But Childe has an interesting kit, very fun, very versatile. He can use all the insane bow passives on bow weapons. Definitely don't sleep on him. He's great, of course. And yeah, I almost convinced myself to roll, so maybe I will roll for him, I don't know. This video is doing a great job of telling me he's gonna do big damage, and I like big damage. Anyways, if this video was helpful for you guys, definitely leave a like, maybe subscribe, it helps me out a ton. But what I'm really looking for are comments. If you got some feedback you want to give me, if you like my content, you want to see more of it, let me know. If you think I can improve at certain things, let me know. I try to read all the comments, I try to reply to all the comments, and I really appreciate your time.